think it's very important to understand that whatever you do, your first video, it's most probably gonna suck. That is for sure. That happens all the time for anything you do. I tell people all the time, I can testify for that. First of all, it's all about getting started. It's rarely about a problem about the gear. It's not about having the best board, the best paddle, the carbon model. It's not about having the latest GoPro. And of course, technology helps and makes things faster and more efficient, but the essence is in the content, in the moment, and in what you record. So.
Hello everyone, welcome to Creato podcast Create Together. I'm your host and my name is Alex. Every 1 to 2 weeks, we talk to amazing content creators about their journeys in content creation and their stories behind. From how they started creating content and how they fell in love with it, to any challenges along the way and tips to fellow creators and audience. We simply love having conversations with creators. Without further ado, let's introduce our guest of the day. And this week, we're very fortunate to have Abu from UAE and come and talk to us. Hello, Abu.
Hello, guys. This is Abu Phampi. Hello from sunny Abu Dhabi.
Hello, Abu. How are you? How's things over there?
Very good, very hot. You cannot perceive it, but you can feel it from the light on my background. But yeah, things are good. Summer starting here, so we need to concentrate on what we record, depending on the temperatures.
So, how's things over there like in terms of the current situation around the world right now? How's things on your side? Is everything normal?
Yeah, I think everything is pretty. I mean, I'm not sure what situation are you talking about, if it's COVID or all the other things happening, because always many things happen in this world. I think we need just to live with it. I think things are pretty normal right now. We have some strict controls, but I think we can live with that and give us some also a peace of mind. Also tourism and travel, which is very important for us because most of the population in the UAE is actually not local. I mean, maybe not everybody in watching this realize that, but we are 90% of foreigners or expatriates in the UAE. So of course, connecting back home beyond Skype or video call is something very important, and now it's happening again, which is essential. So yeah, I would say, as we say here, Alhamdulillah, thanks God, things are quite good.
Good, yeah, that's what I meant. I mean, like in the past 2 years, things are quite different, right? So it's good that it's opening up, and also it becomes more normal, the new normal now, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, if I have to link it with what content creation, which is obviously one of the things I love to do, it's not been such a big crisis, because I think a lot of us liking to go out and explore and record or take pictures or just experience things, we forced ourselves to make the most of the places we had accessible. And believe me, I think I'm not the only one that really rediscovered and forced myself to explore more the corners that we have, 30 kilometers from where we live. And that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's right. So another opportunity to explore like nearby places, right? Okay, let's get right into it. And first of all, every time we invite the guests to actually share a drink or snacks with us during their content creation. So I see clearly that you are smiling already. So what do you have to share with us today, Abu?
Look, I have been thinking about what's my favorite dish, and it came up very difficult to make a choice because I'm from Spain, I live in the UAE, my family is from another place, so I think I like everything. I don't have really a focus, but when you mentioned snack, I had to mention something that I always carry on my adventures, and it happened naturally and by accident, I would say, which is a local product, which is the date palm dates. So as you can imagine here, there's not too much room for growing, naturally vegetables, without support, and of course palm trees have a strong tradition in the country, the Arab world, and they have this delicious and very energetic fruit. So I replace any kind of energy bars or snacks when I go out, and I only bring dates.
Right. So dates is your favorite snacks, like along the way.
Absolutely, yes. This is my energy bar. This saves me if I get stuck too many hours in the sea in an unpredicted way. This is what keeps me with a boost of energy if I need it.
That's good. And you're healthy as well.
They are pretty healthy. I'm not sure about what's the right number. They say 4 or 5 per day is okay, but there's sugars on it, of course. But they have minerals, vitamins. I'm not too much into the technicity of anything, but they definitely have a lot of good stuff on them.
Very good. And so in terms of content creation, would you mind to tell us like how you began with it originally?
Look, I've been asked this question before, and I think looking deep into history, I think I have always had something for storytelling and even video edition at some point, because when you look back at your childhood or when you're a teenager, I always find this moment where I was the one that liked to do a video compilation with the tools that we had back in the days. I am quite old for technology, so I had to operate with certain things that we don't have today, and I think it started very early in terms of wanting to tell stories with videos, pictures. I do it also at work. I have an office job. I like to tell stories, to make presentations. That's something I like. So I think it came naturally to me to make it a hobby, and honestly, it's something very good because I learned from my hobby and I apply it, in my everyday life as well. So that would be the real origin of it. Then it obviously exploded into literally video creation with my my love and passion for GoPro, as you might be aware.
Right. So how did the relationship with GoPro happen since you started making content as an interest?
I think a series of things come together, but I have to say that I started playing with GoPros pretty much like any other human in the planet. For me it was a coincidence. I didn't chose that. I always make this joke to my wife. I mean, you started something and you didn't know what was coming. If you knew, maybe you wouldn't have done it. She offered me a GoPro. I think it was around 2014, the Hero 3 Plus, which is still here.
Still have it, right?
And it works beautifully, I have to say. And the trigger was I back in the days I started to get into desert driving here in Abu Dhabi with an association, with a club. We were doing some, getting some training and and evolving on different maneuvers. So obviously she thought that's a good gadget to document those trips. That was only the start. From there to where I am today, a lot of things happened.
So it was your wife to actually got you in the GoPro journey, right? In about 2014 when you were started desert driving.
Yeah, actually, you made me look at the models and the years, and I found something very very interesting that I would like also to share with anybody that likes GoPro or action cameras. I started with what is a very old and simple model today, and I stick to this model for a very long time. The camera was robust. The camera was giving what I wanted to have, and of course, these are the years where some platforms, in my case, Instagram was up and running, was exploding. There was a lot of activity. So another thing came to place, which was that the GoPro community, and by this I mean the official GoPro community and the unofficial GoPro community. I mean, GoPro community is anybody that has a GoPro and shares the stock. So it was really big. So it came naturally to start, meeting people on the gram, networking with these people, sharing tips, getting inspired one from each other, and I think it was about 3 years later consistently sharing some of the moments I had that the relationship with GoPro Middle East kind of started. By being featured, maybe you guys might know it, but GoPro is one of these platforms that, in my opinion, has a very interesting and democratic system for rewarding creators. You don't have to be someone associated formally with them in any way in order to share your work and to get your work reshared and featured and even get some cash prizes or some discounts. So this thing was really activated in the Middle East, and some of us here we really got to know each other and to start creating more. I guess it's a bit of a cycle.
Right. So it's like a very positive loop and cycle. So when you meet more people from the community, and also the community actually, it's very rewarding and helpful to you as one of the creators, GoPro creators, right?
Absolutely. Yes, and then also, something that I think I might not be the first to refer to that, and I think it's quite amazing how this camera impacted many different creators in a similar way. I started talking about desert driving. This was a trigger to go for an action camera, but life changed, life evolves for all of us, and some of us we formed families at some point. GoPro became not a spare camera when we had our first born. GoPro became the main camera of the house, and that's very interesting, because it is created to become to be an action sports camera. But when you become a father and you go to all the new struggles of handling, holding a baby, changing things everywhere, you want to travel, you want a normal life, but you cannot really have it. You're learning so many things. Being able to carry this small camera in your pocket, it is something that you cannot do with any other camera. So for this period of life, there's simply no other choice. And the bonus with this is that you get to cover moments of your life that you might or might not publish. I don't publish everything I have on my cameras, of course. But you get to capture these moments that you would never think of capturing them with a bulky SLR. So I think the family moment really reignited as well the love and the loyalty to this platform, in my case.
Very, very well. And I've just got a question off the top of my head. And since the camera itself was for action camera, and then now you're one of the person that said, it's actually for family, for lifestyles, for recording moments as well. So if you didn't meet GoPro at all, and then what would things become like? Could you imagine?
I sincerely cannot imagine it, because I think I could probably do what I do with other similar or top of the range action cameras, but I don't think I would have entered into this spiral I was describing. I think there is much more for me that I want to share on that. Sometimes people that discover me through the social media, they have a reaction like the one you had before we were discussing before starting the podcast. I might look like someone that is very active. Some people in the city in Abu Dhabi know me as the SUP guy, because that's a big part of my content, and it's a true hobby. I am into wing foiling, I am into desert driving when logistics and the planning allows, etc. I like the outdoors, but believe me, I am a very normal guy. Everybody can do that, and I wasn't appreciating those things as much as I do now before I entered into the content creation cycle. And this is not because I do things because I need videos. I don't make videos to collect followers. I don't make videos for a living. I make videos because it's for me it's a passion to create some sort of digital art at the end and create stories for my family and for my personal record. But the fact of having this hobby and the GoPro being an extension of my body when I go outside, when I go outdoors, it makes me be more active and wanting to go out more, because I have an extra reason to go out that maybe some others just simply focus on the activity. So I think this has triggered a very nice loop on me. And when you add this to the community and the people I met and the learning, I think this comes with the package for me.
Right. And I think it's not easy to handle the GoPro with what you do. Like you do desert driving, you do sub, and then you do wind foiling. How did you manage all of these activities while having the extra arm? I'm sure they are kind of a little bit different when you are inside.
I think I might put all these activities that I do quite regularly in different levels of complexity when it comes to record them, but all of them share a characteristic, if you ask me, which is you need your full attention on what you're doing, especially driving. As you can imagine, there's your safety and your family safety is at stake. In the other ones, I could fall, but I still need my both arms fully engaged and literally the entire body. So the answer to this obviously requires some sort of mount, as you can imagine. So I think there is a universe of accessories for GoPro and all types of action cameras. Bigger cameras would never be able to be mounted because they are just too bulky. Action cameras can be mounted, that's the whole, and can be carried, that's the whole point. Now, there might be a myriad of accessories, but I think there is a process of discovering what is the accessory that best captures and best fits every activity, and if possible, minimizing the number of accessories you need for each activity. So when I put all these things together, I can very much, narrow it down to one or two accessories. And believe it or not, even if I have all the accessories because I'm a big fan, I always end up using almost the same. So for SUP, for example, I have a very interesting technique, which is I'm basically mounting the GoPro on a bite mount. A bite mount is, I think many people know this is a regular GoPro mount. I still have a clip here, and then I have a proper bite here, so I can carry it with my mouth. This is a very similar effect to the chest mount, but it gives me the versatility of, pointing with my head where my attention is. So when I get the occasion to find some fauna, because we are very lucky here, and I've been extra lucky to have many encounters with wild pods of dolphins, some specific species that we have here in high concentration in the Gulf. I realized that chest mount doesn't work because I cannot SUP and turn my chest as much as my head.
Yes.
So
I guess.
exactly. So when you are out there and you will have this opportunity once every 20 times you paddle, you don't want to miss that shot. And if you don't have the right mount, you cannot do it. You cannot follow the dolphin, and you cannot get the shot. So I think simplicity is a big factor, and it takes some experience, but there's a lot of knowledge out there as well to grab from the how-tos and a lot of people has done all this.
Yeah, I remember your videos with the different dolphins around you when you were in the sub, and then that was spectacular. I guess you were expecting them because you were like, oh, there's something there. And then when you went over, and then it's actually a bunch of them over there.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny because we know we have them. This is a very specific dolphin species. It's called the Indo-Pacific humpback dolphin. If I'm not mistaken, I have a lot of people I met on Instagram that help me identify always the right word. So I hope I'm saying it correctly. We have a high concentration here in Abu Dhabi. It's still an endangered species. They are not as social as the dolphins that we see, as the bottlenose, which are the ones that jump all the time and spin. So it's not that easy to find them. But when you go every week, at least once or twice, exploring certain areas, and you found out that there is a place that they like under certain conditions, then it's about repetition. And by repeating, I cannot guarantee even a 10% of time I will meet them, but for me, a 2% is already big enough. So no, I was not expecting them. I knew they were chances, but once we saw them, they were very approachable. And this episode happened again and again. So this was one of the magic moments. Yes, I mean it's not a GoPro moment; it's a live moment, right? It's an experience that you don't feel the same if you pay a tour operator to bring you to a spot and sail next to the dolphins.
Yeah, a magic moment with the nature. That's right. And speaking of that, so what is your favorite accessories? Like, if you have to name one.
I mean, I think as I said before, the one that fits, I would say 80% of my outdoor needs, and also my day-to-day, sporadic content creation opportunities. You are at home playing with your family, or you go to a museum, or you visit is the bite mount. I literally, use this all the time because I can still use it as a normal mount, right? I mean, if in my car, for example, for the desert, I have the mount, so I can still stick it on the dashboard of my car. And if I need to take it out and take a POV, I will carry it with me. So this is really my must. And I have to say that for whoever loves to play in the water environment, I think it's obvious, but many people misses this. You have to invest on this. It is even if your camera is attached to a surfboard, to a boat, or even if you don't plan to dive, these are far too precious pieces of technology for you to go and not protect them. So get yourself a foam, a proper foam. I think we call it foamy or something like this. The camera goes inside.
That's right. Keep it afloat.
If your camera drops in the middle of the ocean, it not only floats, but you can spot it because it's orange, so it's very visible. So you never lose a GoPro if you do that. I think for me these are the must.
Very good tip. So the last thing we want is to, after shooting the best moments, and then to not be able to retrieve it, right? So from desert driving, from going on a sub, and also wind foiling. And are there any challenges while you were, having the bite mount, creating content? Like, can you share with us any maybe like not very people know about the stories behind the scene? Like, we don't see them on your social media. Any challenges in the process?
Yeah. I think big time. I have a bit of everybody creates their own style, I guess, in everything we do. But when it comes to create videos, you develop a style, and I guess you stick to it. You make it evolve. Every time I do a bit of a long video, I like to include this behind the scenes at the end of the video, right? I mean, this is something that I like to do because I think it keeps it real. You get the real sound. You see maybe some of the funny or silly situations that happen in the process. So I think every time there is something, because it's when you play with water, with unexpected things, or you go to places you don't know, the recipe is there for some small disaster. All right. So of course I got everything. I felt I got stitches. I crashed my drone a few times. I mean, that is normal. But if I had to maybe to share a story, I would share this one where we made a video on December last year, which was very special. There was a bit of a reactivation of the GoPro Middle East social handle, so they call for this a contest to shortlist some GoPro Middle East ambassadors. Of course, this was a dream for me, because I've been so active in this platform for a long time. So the content was about the rules of the contest were about making a video, a kind of a tribute to the 50th anniversary of the creation of the country, of the United Arab Emirates. So I was scratching my head for a few days, thinking, what can we do? We do all these things, we do these sports, but we need to reflect also the country. We cannot just go and create a video wing foiling or making cool stuff. This doesn't represent what we're trying to do. So what we did is we decided to combine a little bit tradition and our hobbies, and the vision behind was let's go to one of these remote sand islands that we know from the different SUP routes, and let's try to wave a big UAE flag and record it on a drone. I think it would make it spectacular. And let's also dress with the local dress of the UAE. So, the idea was beautiful on paper, but the implementation was very difficult. So, I made a couple of calls. I got the right friends, and we went for it. But when we started paddling, the weight of the flag and with the water that was soaking into the flag was massive. So we had serious difficulties to bring all this thing to a point in the ocean, right? So I think we almost missed it, but we just selected an alternative route. We find a nice place, we could do it, but that's to say that it looks very nice, but sometimes you have accidents along the way.
Yeah, I saw that video. I remember as you talk about it. So in the end, it was on a piece of land, and then the drone just flying right up on top of it. And then so I think we're looking forward to the behind the scenes about all this, like the difficulties, the not I mean the things that we don't know about it on the way along the journey. And yeah, cool. So I want to ask about SUP. So we are familiar with it from where we are as well, but wind foiling, it's very new to us. Would you mind to talk a bit about like how you started it, or maybe especially since your favorite accessory is the bike mount? So is that what you have when you do wind foiling? Because obviously your hands are busy, right? Because
it's you're right. It's a bit more complicated than the other. So I'm still kind of figuring out the final setup. But to address your first question, it is new for you as it is new for anybody. It's roughly a 2 years old sport for the masses. There are some ancestors, but it's a brand new water sport, the way we understand it today. It might look very technical or inaccessible on the videos because it involves a lot of skills. I think the truth is halfway out there. I wouldn't say I would say everybody can do it. I'm convinced of that, but I also have to say that not everybody can do it in one afternoon. For some people, it will take months to get to get going. There's many things to do. There is a sail to control, which is new. There is a board balancing act that you might know if you're a surfer, skateboarder, or an SUP rider, but there is a foil, which is another element which makes you fly above the water. So all these things are 3 concepts that you need to master separately, then start to shake them, mix them, and little by little it comes together. So that's roughly for it. Other than that, I can confidently say it's one of the greatest feelings that you can have out there in terms of sport and sensations. It's if SUP is my first love, and it still is. I can do it anywhere, every day, no matter what condition. Wing foil is really an adrenaline boost, and it's like flying on a magic carpet. So it really pays off. And as you said for the recording, I think there's a big challenge here. I use the bite mount, yes. I use it all the time because that's still my POV go-to setup. It allows me to show you what I'm seeing at any point. I am wing foiling. You see the front, you see the speed, you see the board, you see the sail. If I have a friend next to me and I turn, you will see them as well. That's all cool, but we always like to complement. The challenge with the wing foil is the front view. When an SUP has a very long board, so I think pretty much, unless you're very, very, very tall, you put your GoPro on the front of your board, you have this very cool point of view where you are rowing. All the full body is captured. That's very important, to have the right composition. You don't want to cut the head and only see or vice versa. If you lose the board, you lose or the sea level, you lose completely the perspective. So with the SUP, I have it. It's hard coded in my brain. I know where to put it. I know how to tilt it. It's natural. The wing foil boards are much shorter, so it's really a challenge. What I forgot to tell you before on favorite accessories is my new love for this thing here. This is not a standard GoPro.
Oh.
The standard GoPro will come with something like this. It's just a glass cover, covers the lens.
Yep.
I started experimenting due to the wing foil with this accessory. This is not electronics. This is I think we call it the Max Lens mod. This is a bit of a round spherical, lens that you can plug. It's an official GoPro accessory, and what this does is basically it transforms the GoPro into two things: a wider angle, so even wider than what we had before, just enough for me to fit the full activity into the frame. Without that, I couldn't do it. And second, it transforms the GoPro into a fully 360 stabilization. So the horizon will stay flat no matter who you give this camera to. You can give it to a little kid. The little kid will grab it like this, will turn it, the camera, the footage will not move. So that's really something that it's adding a lot of value, because in these sports you cannot keep the camera in the angle that you want. So I put it on the board, I put it on the top of my sail as well with a longer stick, and it works pretty well.
Right, awesome. And so now we know how to actually do it. I mean, if we are to go wind foiling, and right. And so from what I know, still about wind foiling, because I'm actually quite interested to know more about it. And so all I know is what you're holding in your hand. So you're trying to get more lift in order to fly, right? Basically, and you're looking at the winds as well, because you got to have the lift generated on top of the, what do you call that? The wing, I'll say, like what you're holding. And that's actually how you get lifted up from the water, right, in the first place. Am I correct?
Yeah, if I knew, I would have brought my foil with me here to do some illustration. But I think, yeah, you have to think of the foil as an airplane that is below water level. And I'm not an aeronautic engineer, but I think you have roughly two components for the foil to bring you up to fly. One is lift, but it's too hard to get the foil out of the water only by lifting. What you need mostly is speed. So you need first a good dose of forward motion, which you will get with your wing. You will start, or the wind. If there's enough wind, the motion will come. Forward motion, and after that you need a bit of leg work to engage the foil. We call this engage the foil. This is a little bit like skateboarding when they do an ollie, they do a jump. You need to move both feet in a way. So you need to engage this foil. When the foil starts to feel this pressure together with the speed, the board starts to and stick from the water, and then everything becomes light and fast. At that moment in time, you're flying. You only need to stabilize your flight, and which is a different story. Stabilizing the flight. But this is the easy part is to fly, I would say. The difficult part is to take off efficiently without losing too much, energy on it and not getting frustrated on this. There's a lot of technique there too.
Cool. Yeah. So it's the forward speed and also the lift, and then to take off, and then afterwards it's about, because I saw you have to catch you catch the wind and then try to stay afloat. The wing try to stay afloat, so you can be afloat as well.
Yeah, actually, if you're a very good rider, or if you have the good conditions in terms of wind and swell, the waves, the foil is pretty efficient. So you can even disengage the wing completely for a few seconds and continue to be flying on the foil. So it's very efficient in terms of friction and keeping the flight once you're up. The most difficult part, energy-wise, is to get up. But it's a very rewarding sport. Every time you unlock one level, you have another new level to master, right? Because now I am in the phase of making turns without stop flying, which is a scary maneuver, right? Before I was flying, go down, turn the board, and go back. Now the whole game is about staying up all the time while you turn. So I think the sky is the limit, literally. every week, every month you see new tricks and new evolutions to the sport.
Interesting. Yeah. So yeah, we hope that we can try wind foil, and we didn't know it's such a young sport as well until you just told us, and then yeah.
I think one of the factors that will make it hopefully successful is that it's not very demanding in terms of space needed to start activity, right? If you're familiar with kite surfing or kite foiling, the kites need a bit of I would say maybe 100 meters of space in order to put your lines and lift the kite safely and then land it back. In wing foil, you don't need this at all. You can start you can prepare your session in a very small port or lake, and you don't need to be worried about the trees or the buildings and all the things around. So that makes the number of accessible places to practice the sport much higher.
Okay, and it's the suitable places are quite nearby where you are, right? So you can it's very accessible.
Yeah, I can
right
do it in my backyard. Yes.
Yeah, very beautiful. And so if you are to give a couple of tips to people who are about to create content, right? So other than what you've just said, keep it simple, and also using the versatile bite mount so you can see like anywhere you want, and any couple of words of wisdom to share with us and the people who are listening.
I tell people all the time, and I can testify for that. First of all, I think it's all about getting started on GoPro content creation, as well as in wing foil or SUP or any of the other major hobbies I have. I have learned something. It's rarely about a problem about the gear. It's not about having the best board, the best paddle, the carbon model. It's not about having the latest GoPro. You can find a second-hand, very old, and of course, technology helps. But the essence of it for me is never on the technology. Technology helps and makes things faster and more efficient. But the essence is in the content, in the moment, and in what you record. So I will never forget. I have a couple of videos of my son running on a beautiful beach in Spain during sunset. The right lighting, the right character. The most beautiful character that can exist for me to shoot. And then, you know, one of my oldest cameras, I wouldn't be able to make this video again with the newest camera. It's just, you know, the moment cannot be replicated, right? So don't get too stuck on the technology and just get started. And I think it's very important also to understand that whatever you do, your first video, it's most probably gonna suck. That is for sure. That happens all the time for anything you do. You know, so don't let this hold you from starting. Start, share it. The more you share, the more feedback you will get. The bad feedback will make you improve. The good feedback will refuel you to continue doing what you love and don't expect, you know, perfection from day one.
Very well said. And that makes me to recall, you know, this is like our more than 30 episodes of podcast. And when we started it, so when I look at my first or even the second one, that was embarrassing, basically. And then so I hope you can feel that now it's much better, like especially myself as a host. But then when we started this, and then it was kind of a disaster. And then like I wasn't very well structured, like, and I was nervous. And then you can tell now I try to speak slower as well because I'm kind of used to it and I'm enjoying it. So yeah, very very well said. So get started and also just bear with it, right? Because the first one or even the early ones is going to be not very good, but then it will improve along the way, right?
Yeah, I think it's a funny exercise that any person that has been consistently sharing any type of content in a given platform can do. I mean, if I scroll back to my videos, my pictures, I said 2014, maybe that's, you know, like 7-8 years back. Of course, it doesn't look the same way I would do it right now, but this is not right nor wrong. We have different styles, we have different things, and another thing I would say is, you know, copy is part of the process for me. I have learned many things and experiment by copying, by trying to replicate things that inspired me and fascinate me from other you know, content creators. But at the end of the day, you need to make an end product that you love. You know, I never I get often this question, you know, as I said before, I don't go to a certain island in Abu Dhabi because I need to make a video of it. You know, content is a complement to what I love to do, and it allows me, you know, to share it with the world, and most importantly, for me to remember. I always joke I have a bit of a memory problem. You know, I have everything recorded and well structured in my folder, so, you know, I can always relate to what happened this year, when did we go to this trip or that one. So I am the first you know, fan of my own videos. So you need to like your own stuff. Don't do it because, you know, you don't choose a topic because it will give you more views, or you think it will increase your reach. This is not how I like to operate.
Right, got it. So coming up almost to an end, and just want to touch base on, do you have any most asked questions by your audience or from the community?
Yeah, I mean, I think one question that comes a lot related to the GoPro wall is, you know, how do I get noticed by GoPro? Okay. I mean, it's a fair question. It's a question I have asked myself, you know, a few times to other creators, and I think here again I would give the same answer as before. You know, for me, it took consistently 7-8 years of working with a platform and of producing my content my way to get to have, the current relationship I have here with with GoPro Middle East, which I'm very happy because I totally believe in the product. So why I wouldn't be stoked to work with them. But I think it's all about consistency, patience, and the good things come. I never got obsessed by one specific objective when it comes to content creation. I always like to say that every year of my content creation journey has been different, and I could put a title to it. Some year was the year of discovery. Another year was the year of drone. I incorporated the sky to my creation. I mean, that's a successful year. Another year, I got to get more collaborations with the local tourism authority in Abu Dhabi and with some local, very relevant content creation opportunities. So these are all opportunities that come. Another year, it might be a good thing happening with GoPro. So stick to the content, stick to that, and the good things come for sure. That's what I believe.
That's very nice and well structured. And you have kind of touched up on my last question actually, because I was going to ask you, what's your upcoming plans for the rest of this year? And then now I will change the question a little bit to, so what's the theme for this year, basically, like in terms of your content creation?
Look, I generally have the theme after the year is completed, right? So I don't.
Okay.
What I wanted to say is that every year, when you look at it in retrospective, which is something that I do methodically, because the videos you see here on the background, these are my yearly compilations. So every year I force myself to do this, condensated year in review in a 2 or 3 minutes, and these are my favorite productions. So when I look at that, I discover that's I can see what I learned this year. I can see the skills I got. I can see the how I discovered nature in a different way, or how much we traveled, or etc. etc. So there is not really a plan, but there's always some projects, always trying to learn something new. Something I thought about doing soon, maybe not this year yet, it's, music is a big component when it comes to video creation, at least for me. I learned that music, choice is super important. I think everybody would agree with that. And over the years, I also learned to incorporate natural sounds to my videos. If you listen to some of my videos carefully, you would see how I'm, respecting and keeping some of the original sounds. The sound of the dolphin underwater, the sound of a smile of the people that is in that trip, for example. I think that's very important. But when it comes to music, I think a beautiful journey to start would be to create my own music. So I have a bit of a small stories with different instruments when I was younger, but I got into experimenting to digital music creation. There's a lot of tools today that I wasn't aware of, and I think this is something that could be very, very cool to own the full creation of the full piece at the end of the day, which also by the way, talking about developing content creation and monetization for some content creators is obviously a great initiative to say I own the full content on this video, from image to dialogues to music. So that's on the plan.
Very interesting to hear. So coming up sooner or later, we're gonna see your own music in your own videos. So yeah, fascinating. And okay, so coming up to the very end, and thank you, Abu, for sharing all the interesting stories and the plans ahead, and also the interesting outdoor activities that you are involved in Abu Dhabi. And so thank you very much for sharing today. And I'm sure for those who are listening for this time, and you can check out Abu on his Instagram and YouTube channel, so you can see he was doing sub with dolphins. And also, if you listen closer, you can actually listen. He kept the original sound of the dolphins, like underwater, and also his wind foiling videos about how he was using the bike strap, and then to actually show you how his point of view are during all these activities, and of course desert drivings as well. And so we're all very happy to just now listen to all your stories and fun facts. Thank you, Abu.
Thanks so much, Alex and Creato team. It was a real pleasure. You know, I really like this project and how to hear to this very personal stories of creators around the world. GoPro, not GoPro, it doesn't really matter. So all the best and keep doing what you do.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and we hope to meet you one day in UAE as well.
Inshallah.
Hopefully.
As we see.
Yeah, and then you can take us to wind foiling, and then but I probably need a couple of months, not a day or two.
You are my guest in Abu Dhabi, and I have enough boards of enough sizes for you to get comfortable going. So don't worry about that.
Right. And I think what you need most, if we are going together, and then you need more patience, because I'm a slow learner, and just to warn you, and then yeah. Okay, so thank you, Abu, for today, and thanks for everyone who are listening, and then this is the end of today's podcast, and we hope to see you all again next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Create Together, a video podcast channel produced by Creato, a platform for content creators and fans to create content together. For more information and episodes about Creato Podcast Create Together, visit our website or subscribe to our show via YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Thank you for listening. See you next time. Bye-bye.